Hi guys, it's Rob from Tabletop Assault for another battle breakdown from the game between Jamie and Pix for the Tabletop round robin. Guys, how'd you find it?
I still hate AdMech.
I love AdMech.
Even though I collect AdMech, I still hate AdMech.
I love AdMech. I'll take your AdMech. Is there any DACA bots?
No punchy bots.
Oh, I need punchy bots.
They're green though.
I can fix that.
Because, you know, I like green.
Anyway, we digress already. No, I thought the game went really well, but I'm biased clearly. I'm so happy.
In all
First game I've
fairness,
ever properly won.
although I did take a pounding turn one, it could have gone either way at one point, I felt.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Getting turn one obviously was massive for you.
Yeah.
I could have probably hidden some of my key units a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's my own fault, obviously. But I don't know, maybe I should have started the Flamestorm Aggressors on the table. You would have been slightly more scared of them then.
I would have found out what they'd done quicker. You notice how as soon as they came on and I realised what they'd done, they were suddenly my objective.
Yeah.
I
I also picked Pearly on the secondaries. And then didn't do very well on the primary either. Hence the reason I only got 12 points.
To be fair though, I think the fact that in turn one the first thing I did was utilise the 2 units of dogs to run up to 2 of the primaries kind of didn't help.
Yeah, it kind of made me want to push forward a bit
Yeah.
more. Obviously, it's exactly what I did. Spoilers for one of the previous games. If you haven't seen it yet, go check out the battle report between me and Rusty and the breakdown there. It's almost exactly what I did to Rusty there.
Yeah.
I sent the Flamestorm Aggressor straight up to his Nurglings, and a squad of Incessors straight up to his Nurglings,
Yeah.
and took the centre of the board from him, which meant he had to push straight towards me, which is just what you did to me. And it's just that kind of advantage you get when you get to go first.
Yep.
I still think had I gone first, you probably would have hit me a lot harder than I hit you. But that is ifs and buts.
Yeah.
That's for a parallel universe to decide on what happens.
It's a dice game!
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a dice game.
The thing
Clichés.
is though, is I'm still getting used to the game. For those that don't know, this battle report that I was in was the first one I've ever been on in the channel. Not long learned 9th edition, still getting there, which is why in the battle report you can hear Rob keeping me right and correcting me constantly. I know what I want to do with the army. Whether it's going to work or not is a completely different story. I'm just there for a laugh. But I've kind of got to grips with a few things in AdMech, but this battle report there was a couple of new units in there. The Disintegrator I'd never really used before that much.
Yeah.
Maybe in one other like casual game at a club way back when we could do that. And then also
Those
had
were the days.
those were the days. And then the 2 units of Sulphur Dogs as well. They were brand new, painted for that battle report, which kept me up until 5 in the morning.
And
But,
I do want to say
Yeah.
the army's looking stunning so far.
Thank you.
You did manage to underpoint yourself though.
I did, which was quite annoying because I accidentally put Rangers in the list when it should have been Vanguard. And then I had to switch a couple of things out, so I think I was like 16, 17 points under, but the original list I had with the Rangers was bang on 1,000 and I was so proud of myself. But then I realised I didn't have any Rangers painted. And it was bad enough I was proxying the Destroyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the purple is really nice on the
Thank
army.
you.
It looks really good.
Purple is best colour.
So much better than
Rolls more sixes.
my ability to paint.
It is the first. This is the first time I've actually had a go at painting an army. I've been painting for nearly 20 years now, which is terrifying. And I've never actually had a go at painting an army. I buy them and I hoard them. I'm not fair well at painting them. So this is the first time I've ever actually used my own minis that are painted to actually play a game.
Yeah. Well, beginner's luck, I'm going to call it.
Yeah, sure.
Trying desperately not to be super cynical.
I know, right?
I am annoyed you killed my captain.
Yes.
But, in all fairness, he did his work.
Oh, you did?
I mean,
he was an annoyance.
he cleaved through a DACA ball.
Yeah.
And he cleaved through a squad of doggos.
Yep.
I mean, who doesn't love this guy here? I mean, the conversion on him, I have to say, I'm pretty proud
It is
of
quite
it.
cool.
I'm pretty proud of
Yeah,
my
it's quite
conversion. I didn't really talk much about it in the wrap up with Rusty, but it was very chuffed with him. I needed a wee 95 point captain for the thing, so I was like, you know what, I've got a couple bits lying around.
He looks really good. And he has a big, mega shiny sword.
Big sword.
And he gave me points if I killed him, so it had to happen.
Yeah. He had to run up the board. It was the only thing to do with him.
Yeah, to be fair.
Is
After he
there
hit.
anything you think you would have done slightly different in the battle?
Oh, the destroyers were wiped out very quickly. I think that was just down to poor deployment. But again, getting used to the game, figuring out the army, having absolutely zero knowledge of any other army, it's pretty much I'm there for lols, and it's all trial and error. The more I play, the more I'm going to learn what's good, what's not. So I would have probably deployed differently with the destroyers because they pretty much done absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and you kind of lost yourself out on stratagems like elimination volley and stuff like that, which, although you probably didn't need.
Well, it was Wrath of Mars and the Biotic Overdrive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Normally, if I've got the Dakabots next to the destroyers, which was back in 8th with castles, you would use the elimination volley. And occasionally I've done it in a few games against Rob at home, but yeah, not needed for that game. I think Wrath of Mars and Biotic Overdrive was bad enough, along with my Warlord trait. Soz not soz.
So how do you find against the Marines?
I could across here get a tattoo saying I hate aggressors. The Eradicators weren't so bad, but I think that's mainly because of the firepower of the Dakabots. The aggressors just annoyed me for having, 10d6 shots? It was ridiculous. Was it 39 or 49 hits?
It was 39 hits from 5 guys.
Yeah, that was really annoying. That kind of made me wake up and go, what? But the Marines were interesting. I expected the Gladiator to put up more of a fight, but again, I don't have a lot of experience, and to me, up until as of recent, I would have thought 3 Dakabots wasn't that much, but I'm now starting to think the way I'm combining things is a bit too much of the cheese.
In saying that, I didn't really utilise the Gladiator properly in this game. What I should have done was split fire all over the place, kill all your small guys, and just left your bots alone.
Yeah.
Because if I'd killed both squads of doggos and the destroyers with the Gladiator, you would have had no way to move out and score points.
Exactly.
Hindsight's 20/20, that's what they say. But I think that's really what the Gladiator has to be for, to kind of clear you off those objectives. Instead of going, hey, I could just make myself wound on 4s and try and plink off wounds off of robots. That just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. Plus with the amount they were getting healed as well with the Dominus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love the fact my commander just walked up and
sliced
one in half.
Yeah. Literally killed one.
It's a really nice conversion you've done as well with it.
Yeah, I'm really chuffed with them. If you cannot tell.
Well, yeah.
Pretty chuffed.
Yeah,
pretty.
Because it was just a car body and captain's head. Yeah,
it's if you guys have seen the Indominus box, you know the new Judicar model. It's literally the body of him, his big sword, the backpack from the captain with the relic shield, and just a autobolt rifle off of a regular intercessor. Really straightforward. You can do it yourself if you have spares. Because for some reason I thought, I'll take 2 halves of Indominus because I need all the characters.
Only 2?
Don't look at me. Right, so, in hindsight, how did you feel your armies were set up for that mission? Because I said you guys didn't know what the mission was until I dropped the bombshell on you before it actually went ahead. How do you find it?
Well, obviously, I've played one more battle report, so we didn't know until you put it in the group chat what we were actually going to be doing, so it was just getting to grips with 1,000 points is so much more different than playing 2K. In 2K, you kind of have redundancy units, and I think that buffer of being able to just shunt units forward and hold off your opponent. For example, in 2K, I tend to run 2 Invictor Tactical War suits, just to go straight up and annoy my opponent until the rest of my stuff can get into range and start laying down fire. You don't have that in 1,000 points. As soon as you lose a unit, you're like, oh, that's me unable to maybe secure sites, like when I lost my intercessors, or oh my god, I've just lost 5 points because she's blown up my gladiator. So you start to fall behind the more you lose your units in 1,000 points.
Yeah, because like I say, it's a lot of people have said, yes, don't worry, that was one of the cats.
Thanks, Thor.
Yep, nice thoughts on it. playing like the smaller games, like you've like 500,000 point games, is a lot different than playing 1,500 or 2,000. I said, me and Jamie have had quite a few varied games, and friendly and non-friendly. As in, not like that, but sort of quite aggressive games and that. And 2K is a complete different ball game to these small ones, because as soon as you lose one squad, it throws yourself on the back foot straight away.
Yeah. I mean, when I was trying to learn, when Rob was trying to teach me 9th and 8th for a guy, I was determined to start with smaller games, thinking that would make it easier, smaller units, get to grips with fewer things at one time. And it just didn't click, and I kept collecting and painting, but just couldn't click with playing. And then just all of a sudden I went, do you know what, I've had enough. Let's do a 2,000 point game, and everything clicked. I was like, right, I've got it. So this was the first smaller game that I'd tried since then, and I thought, oh, I've got to grips, like vaguely, with like 2,000 points. 1,000 will be fine. And in turn 1, I was just like, this is quite strange, because the turn 1 that I'd done, it was quite brutal for the amount of stuff that you ended up losing in that turn. And I didn't actually feel bad, I'm sorry. But it's, as soon as you lose anything in 1,000 points, it's just, you notice it more, like you're saying, you got redundancy units. So it makes much more of an impact, because you've got to make sure everything links up and works together and has a purpose on the list. Whereas with 2,000 points, you can throw something in for fun and just see how it goes. But you can't really do that with 1,000.
No, it's more of a tactic style game. Yeah. You need to score points early, and you do have to be aggressive with it. But at the same time, you just got to think, how are you going to have the longevity of it? Again, we've got another game whereby we've got new book and one of the oldest books from 8th, to be honest, because Admech was one of the first 2 or 3 books in 8th, and it still holds its own.
I think that has a lot to do with the Psychic Awakening, though. I don't think...
Engine War.
Yeah. The Demons didn't really get great out of their Psychic Awakening book, but I think Admech got a huge boost, along with a lot of new models as well.
Which was needed.
Oh yeah, definitely needed.
But it's just that one warlord trait that is...
I love it.
Jesus, yeah.
Mars and Divinations of Magos is just such a filthy...
I love it.
I will be surprised if it makes it into the new Codex. I'll hold my hand up now and say I'll be surprised if that combination makes it into...
Engine War is still going to be in 9th.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh.
Whether people keep telling me Cole's going to lose his reroll everything, which makes me really sad.
Well, it's going to be a rarity if he does keep it.
And what it'll be something like the Chapter Master reroll. He'll be able to pick one unit, and they'll be able to reroll everything.
Or it'll be core units, which, to be fair, destroys a core as they are. So it's going to throw it up in the air on what he's able to do, but it shouldn't be too long before we see it.
And I'll probably see him come down in points as well.
Yeah, so come on GW, get it out there, we want to see it.
But not before we film the 1,500, because Cole's going in purely for the rerolls, everything, so we're going to hold off until then.
Well, you better get one painted then.
Oh! Mic drop.
Oh!
And as well, Jane, on that front, you see, you need to actually beat Admech.
I'm sorry. If you guys want to go back to the last battle report 2K that me and Rob played...
Yeah, that was with Sal, not with Marines.
That's not the point.
Yes, it is.
Well, maybe we should just scrap me playing Space Marines now and just bring a 1,000 point tower list on the next one.
Oh, stop being salty. Alright guys, hope you actually enjoyed that and learned some more about these 1,000 point games. As always, like, subscribe, tick, enjoy, make comments and all that lot, and hopefully there'll be a link down below. David, hope you put it in there for the links to the game that these guys have played. But on the back of that, stay safe and hope to see you on another Tabletop Assault Battle Report.
Catch.